welcome to Protective Diet Education. This is class number 108, and we are covering the high fiber transition and how to eliminate and speed up common temporary detox symptoms, reducing bloat and gas when increasing dietary fiber. This is common during your first 30 days on a protective diet, and it can also come about when you start your 50-50 plates if you haven't been increasing the fiber along the way. But before I get started, I want to read a testimonial that came in from Patty, and it'll help everyone as they're entering the class tonight and refreshing their computers so that they don't miss any of class. I want to start reading some testimonials at the beginning of class to inspire all of us. And Patty writes to us telling us, today is a learning day. Today is my 6-month, 100% PD anniversary, and she started her day out disappointed that my scale had not moved another half a pound to get me to my goal this month of being in another set of 10s. A half a pound, and I was disappointed. I was going to let that start my day, almost, but then reality won out. The reality that every day I'm healthier than the day before. Every day, she writes. There's not a lot of people that can say that. Every day I make a choice, several choices throughout the day actually, to make my health a priority. My food is the start of my health. My dance and exercise supplement my health. Balance in my work and home life is next on the agenda. How I'm going to tackle it, I'm not sure. But I know that if I watch and actively listen to the archived PD videos, the help I need will be there, just like it has been there for my food and exercise routine. Jerry and Julie have created a whole life educational experience, and I'm so grateful for them, as we are you, Patty. Julie and Jerry have created a whole life educational experience. Another reality I had I not found PD, I would still be struggling with how to get the weight off. Dieting since I was 12 years old, I dieted my weight up to 304 pounds in March of 2014. I remember clearly that sick feeling in the pit of my stomach when I first saw those numbers. Then I pushed them aside and kept on dieting. In the next 8 months, I was able to lose a few pounds so that by the time I found Protective Diet, I was down 11 pounds. Then silly me, who sometimes needs a brick dropped on my head to make actual change, did Protective Diet part-time. The next 6 months had me at another 14 pounds lost. But the real change in both my weight and health came when I went 100% Protective Diet. The next 6 months brought a weight loss of 49 pounds, double the amount of weight loss in less than half the time. 49 pounds in 6 months. I'm down 8 pounds since last month. I'm down a total of 4 pant sizes. It should be more, but I was really squeezing myself into my jeans last year. My chest is smaller. Yes, she writes. My waist is coming back. I'm dancing and exercising, and I want to move. I'm happier, I'm healthier, I'm grateful. What the heck do I have to be disappointed about? Absolutely nothing. Congratulations, Patty, and a high five to you. I'm so proud of what you have achieved, and most of all, that you're realizing your successes and you're seeing them. You're not caught up on that marker of 10 pounds per month that I talk about under the frequently asked questions on protectivediet.com. We mentioned the average weight loss is 10 pounds a month. And Patty put that in her head and allowed herself to get disappointed when she was a half a pound away from that. Now, that's an average. And when Patty hits her ideal body weight, she'll probably be able to average it out and it'll be 10 pounds a month. This is not set in stone. Some people lose more, some people lose less. But it's guaranteed that you're going to reach your ideal body weight. What's going on?
Patty.
Yay, Patty. Jerry's just responding to what I'm reading. He's so busy over there with the computer. So what I want to say is every day that you're practicing this diet 100% full-time, as Patty was mentioning, is an achievement. You're bettering your health every single day to promote health, to protect yourself from disease, to reverse disease that you've already been struggling with. Whatever your goals, Patty's obviously was focused on weight loss, but I'm sure she's been surprised with newfound energy and the feeling of success with her practice, and many other little side effects that we don't even know until we experience them. They're surprises along the way. So we talk a lot about weight loss in this classroom because it's one of the most noticeable changes that first comes about. But some of you are in this classroom to achieve optimal health. You want to eat the ideal diet to protect yourself from disease. You may be healthy and in good shape and at an ideal weight, and you're focused on reducing animal agriculture. You're focused on environmental practice, and all of these things come from a protective diet. A protective diet is designed to protect human health, the animals, and our environment. So I just wanted to mention that because I know a lot of the classes are focused on weight loss. It's just an obvious side effect, and that's why we talk about it so often. And it's a goal a lot of people have that have been eating a standard American diet or a vegan diet that was high in oils, sugar, and nuts. So let's get on to class. So the newsletter this week, if you haven't had a chance to look at that newsletter, you can go into the archives under weekly news. It's one of the top tabs on protectivediet.com. It's also attached to the lessons. And check that out because I think a lot of us can relate to this. I'm meeting more and more people that will say, oh, I gave a vegan diet a try and oh, I was so bloated. I couldn't do that. I felt so fat. I can't eat all those carbs. Or I was so tired and sleepy. Oh, I did it for a whole week. And by the 7th day, I just had to eat some protein. So I got some chicken breast. Or I got the cleanest form of protein, fish. But if you've been in this classroom a while, you know that's the most heavily contaminated animal product we can eat on our planet. A lot of people don't consider fish an animal, but it is, and it's sitting in toxic waters and waters that are full of pollutants and contaminants. And the larger the fish, the more toxic it is. And those larger fish we're eating more commonly, like tuna, and we think that's a health food. And go back to the lessons and start in the beginning archived lessons, and you're going to learn all about fish and why we eliminate it along with the cholesterol and the saturated fat that's found in fish. But so they go back to these animal products thinking that they need them, they need the protein or the carbs are making them bloated, when really what it is they're going through a pretty serious detoxification. And we talk about this in lesson 1. We talk about the 30-day detox and taste bud reprogram, and it's a whole food detox. So basically what I'm suggesting is that you're doing the same practice that someone would do that would drink a green juice cleanse, except you're satisfying your hunger with these whole, clean, plant-based foods. It does the same thing. We're ridding our body of toxic chemicals. We're ridding our body of food additives. And we're eliminating any of the foods that break down our endothelium. And that's one of the lessons that we'll review that should be top on your list to watch if you're new to the classroom. We can get the same detoxifying results by eating whole, clean, plant-based foods as we can drinking green juice. The difference being, you're going to be able to sustain this. This isn't a 5-day juice cleanse. This isn't even a 10-day juice cleanse. This is for the rest of your life, and you're going to be able to add in foods that are so delicious and satisfying that you're going to be able to achieve optimal health and do this and sustain this for the rest of your life and enjoy it. As you see many in our community, in our support group, Protective Diet Living, you see they are thriving, they are successful, they're enjoying it. You see Jerry and I and our food photographs, and we're foodies, we love food, I love it. So we come up with these recipes to keep it exciting, so that you can have a dinner party and have your friends over, or so you can satisfy your entire family. This is not mommy or daddy's diet. This is a diet for optimal human health for everyone in the household. So that's why we come up with these exciting recipes that mimic familiar foods. Now, You may be saying, oh, I'm not into cooking, I gotta keep it simple. I highly recommend the beginning when you first get started, keep it simple. Look at it as your detox. Eat potatoes, eat whole grain pastas, eat rice. Stick to the starches. Those are gonna fill you up and make you feel good while you're going through the withdrawals and the detox. Are there any questions coming through?
No, they're just talking about how awesome PD food is and how it's amazing. They have to pitch themselves that they can stay on plan. And reach that ideal
I know we have a big classroom tonight. There's a lot of you here, and a lot of you are new to Protective Diet, and I'm excited you're joining us. You've been inspired by success stories of people in our community. Obviously, some of you have met people. One of you, Jeff, met Maria in a restaurant. She told you about Protective Diet. She was sitting across the table from you. It's so great how the word spreads. Now, if we are walking the walk, we're practicing this lifestyle, we wear it on our sleeves. We wear it in the signs of health. Our plate looks different than the people across from us. So it's very easy to inspire someone. They look at your plate and go, what are you doing? And they look at you and go, wow, you look healthy if you've been practicing for a while. And that looking healthy is just around the corner. So hang in there. So for the first 30 days, you are learning how to cook your meals, stock your pantry, pack your lunches, travel and eat at restaurants. Now, if today's your first day and maybe you cleaned out your cabinet like Chuck told us he did on Protective Diet Living and he went grocery shopping, don't get overwhelmed. You have the whole rest of your life to practice this and to get it down. Just get started simply with potatoes, maybe a veggie chili. Keep the cooking simple and the meal planning simple. If you love to cook, go for it. Dive in, pick out a few recipes, pick up the ingredients you need for those recipes, and then get into watching the lessons. Don't feel like you have to watch the pantry stocking lesson and stock your entire pantry overnight. This is not a project that's meant to overwhelm you. It's meant to, these tools, these classrooms, the live classroom and all the archive classes are meant to help you and assist you, and the support groups and our chats are meant to answer your questions along the way through the process as you learn. This first 30 days is your detox period and learning period. So I want you to learn how to label read. This is very important before you hit the grocery store so that you're not in there for hours. I teach a lesson, number 82. It's a newer lesson. There's a previous lesson on food additives, but 82 is a great one. It's super helpful. Maybe take notes tonight. If you have a piece of paper, go grab one. Number 82 really helps you to independently label read, which is what I teach. I'm a teacher that teaches you and empowers you to go to the store and pick up your can and be able to read it, not have to take a picture of it and post it and say, can I eat this? You're more than welcome to do that in our support group, but I want you to eventually, when you start feeling more confident after you watch lesson number 82, you will probably be able to label read on your own. And if you want to double check with us and verify when you get home with your shopping trip, take a picture of everything. Post it on PDL, and guess what? If you've got something that's off plan, someone's going to point their finger because they want you to succeed as much as I do. So do that. Watch lesson number 82. And you are going through a pretty massive detox depending on what your diet was like. Now, maybe you were eating a vegan diet, but you had oils and food additives. You were eating some freezer staples like faux meats. Those are loaded up with food additives to make them taste awesome, to make us eat more than we should. And if you're going off of a standard American diet, you have dairy in your diet and meat in your diet. Dairy has an ingredient in it that actually will cause the calf to stay close to its mother. It's a lot like the same effects morphine has on a human. It makes you feel good. It makes the calf feel good. Well, guess what? The same thing goes for cheese and dairy and yogurt. And it's no big wonder why people have a hard time giving up cheese. So you're going through withdrawals from that ingredient, that natural ingredient that's in dairy. So be understanding with yourself, and I want you to look underneath the frequently asked questions. There's a tab, it's the very last tab, and it says informational videos. And in those videos, one of the first ones there, it's called Tweaking Tastes, creating cravings. And this is a review of scientists that work in a lab to create food additives that we go through in the label reading class and in the food additive class, that are names like natural flavor and citric acid. And if you've just been getting into the first lesson, you've heard a few of these. The word spices alone. These are code names that these scientists can put on these chemical compounds that they create. Some are part natural and some are chemical. And these ingredients cause you to eat way past full. They want you to consume their product. It's a billion-dollar industry that companies, soda pop companies, they put natural flavor in their product. Even sparkling flavored water has natural flavor in it. Why? Because they want you to drink it. They want you to always have a can or a bottle of it by your side. They want you to consume their product. So they're putting these natural flavors or spices or food additives that act a lot like MSG do in the body. It enhances the flavor out of nature. It causes us to crave the product. You just can't eat one. Lay's potato chips, it's in there. So it's in all of our bagged, packaged, processed foods, soda pops, beverages, things like that. So when we're cutting all your condiments, it's in all of those. So when we're cutting those out, we point out a few of them in the classes that are clean. And with that label reading lesson number 82, you'll be able to pick out which ones on your refrigerator door are clean. And I've watched some of you today that were in the process of doing that, and you did it like rock stars. So be proud of yourself that you've caught on to that already so soon after watching only one lesson. So you're on your way. I suggest while you're going through the detoxification of these serious chemicals in your food additives that are designed, watch that video. Because then you're going to have a better understanding of what you're detoxifying from, what you're eliminating out of your diet, and how you don't want to be a part of this anymore. It's kind of a scam to get us to consume foods that aren't very good for us, to overconsume them, so we're exceeding our caloric needs because of cravings. So let's get through the cravings. It doesn't take very long. But I suggest eating through the cravings. So when you feel like, oh, I've got to have a Diet Coke or whatever your thing was, and that's very acidic. We have a class coming up about coffee and diet soda. So we want to cut it out of the diet if we're trying to reverse disease. What's another food that people just can't get enough of that... If you're having these cravings and thoughts of these foods, I want you to find an on-plan substitute for it and eat your way through these cravings. I don't care how much you're eating during the first 30 days. Eat whenever you feel like it until you're full and satisfied. I would much rather you have you binging on healthy plant-based foods that are going to serve you, and that you're getting accustomed to preparing and cooking and packing for yourself. Pack extra snacks. Make sure you got a couple bananas with you anytime you're going in your car so that you go right past the drive-thru if that was your thing. And then...
chocolate and butter or something, and cheese.
Chocolate, butter, and cheese. Those are all very high-fat foods, and they actually cause a dopamine response in your brain. So you're going to be going through that withdrawal from those foods. So replace it with something else. Eat your way through it. It sometimes feels overwhelming when you're going through this detox process. So reach out to us. We cannot assist you if you're not in this live classroom, if you're not on the Saturday morning chat hour, if you want to join us there, or in PDL, you have hundreds of friends that want to see you succeed, and we're always there for you. Try a detox bath of 1 to 2 cups of Epsom salt and soak in that, even for like 10-15 minutes if you can. Epsom salt's found at your local pharmacy. Your grocery store will carry it. It's a couple dollars a box or a bag. Put a cup or 2 in the tub and soak in it. That's going to detox and flush these chemicals out of your system faster, getting you through the cravings faster. I want you to drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated. Don't overdo it. You don't need to drink a gallon of water a day. But if you have a nice tall glass of water with every meal or between every meal, maybe 4 nice tall glasses of water. We're talking 8-ounce glasses of water while you're going through this detoxification process. It's going to help flush your system. Now you want to try herbal teas, black tea, green tea. Any of those are hydrating. They're alkaline. They're not going to cause an acidic response in the body and promote disease. They're going to add antioxidant value to your diet. If you haven't been a coffee drinker or a black tea drinker, I don't suggest adding black tea into your diet because it's going to give you a little buzz from the caffeine, and that might keep you up all night. No need to add caffeine into your diet if you never had it before. If you're going off of coffee, try the PD latte or try a black tea. Replace it with black tea and a little splash of soy milk or something if you want to keep a little caffeine into your system so you don't feel so sluggish. That's perfectly fine. You might feel taxed or tired or fatigued through this whole process. So be understanding with yourself. If you can, the greatest thing you can do is start your detox on the weekend. Start it when it's your time. If you don't have to go to work, then guess what you get to do? Maybe you get to lay down and shut your eyes. Maybe you have kids climbing all over you and crying. Maybe you can ask them to take a nap with you or take a nap with them. Treat yourself kindly because your body is doing a major project of flushing the system. So for some people, they feel tired. For some people, the increase in antioxidants in their diet and fresh produce and more hydration and less dehydration because of the lack of coffee, they actually feel an improvement. And I've heard this from many people. And those people, I don't find them interacting that much in our support group because they're doing so great. Maybe they're not speaking out about it. But in my practical studies, I've had multiple people that have been incredibly successful. I'm an example of the detox off of coffee. I was up to 4 coffee pods every morning, and I had no headaches. I had no withdrawals from the coffee. My challenge was the sugary soy milk that I was putting in my coffee because I was vegan before I gave up the caffeine. So I was also a junk food vegan. I was heavy on vegetables, but a lot of fats, veganese, faux mayonnaise, nuts, sugars. That was my challenge. So rest if you can. This is a pretty big deal that you've taken on, and it's going to change your life if you follow through on it. Go ahead, Jerry.
Oh, one moment. Do all teas have caffeine in them, and how would you know if it did?
If it's labeled with the word tea, it has caffeine. It'll say herbal if it has no caffeine. Read the label. If it says green tea, black tea, oolong is a black tea, that's going to have caffeine in it. A lot of the teas will label that it contains caffeine. Green tea has less caffeine than black tea. Both of those have high antioxidant values. There's also flower water, which I recommend you don't exceed 2 glasses of that a day. It's got a lot of minerals in it. Check out that recipe. It's one of the recipes on Protective Diet. Put flower water into the search box and you'll get the recipe. It'll come up. Or you could click on beverages. And those are all very hydrating. So start this up on your day off if you're just getting started. If you're able to treat yourself to a massage, do it on your second day. This speeds up the detox process. And if you can afford this into your budget, it's a great way to really pamper yourself and say, I'm on day 2 of this detox. If you can't afford to do the massage, take the Epsom salt bath. Do something to treat yourself, something to celebrate your accomplishment. Go ahead, Jerry.
All right, only organic teas, right?
Yes.
And then how about organic decaf green tea? Can you have that unlimited?
That's a good point. The decaffeination process, some of them have chemical additives to decaffeinate the tea. The best way to decaffeinate your tea naturally is to take your teacup and put the bag of tea in there. Pour the hot water over it. Let it steep for about 30 seconds. Take the bag out and put it in a new cup of hot water. That tea bag will be decaffeinated. The caffeine comes out in about the first 30 seconds of brew. So you can naturally decaffeinate your green tea, so all you're getting is organic antioxidants, or your black tea if that's what you'd prefer. Always choose organics when it comes to tea, because tea is heavily contaminated with pesticides when it isn't not an organic tea. I always choose organic teas because it's maybe $1 more a box, and it's something that I'm putting into my body to promote health. Why would you put something in that contains chemicals or contaminants from pesticides? It just doesn't make any sense. I want you to sit back and sip that cup and reflect on the goodness that's happening, the hydration that's happening to your system, without any thought of worry that you're drinking something that isn't beneficial for your system. Lemon water is a great way to go if you're not into the teas. There's still the phytochemicals and antioxidants of that lemon juice. Put that in there. If you're putting the whole slice of lemon in there, buy organic lemons. That could be your treat if you don't like tea. You're spending the money on the organic lemon, and you can put the whole peel in there. And part of the whole organic sipping of the tea and the lemon, it's our mind. Our mind is super powerful. And when I'm drinking organic lemon water, I feel like I'm really serving my body. It's an alkaline fluid, it's hydrating. When I have a lemon that's not organic and I'm just squeezing it in and I'm not putting the flesh of the lemon in there because I don't want to soak off any pesticides into my tea, I don't feel as great about it. So if you can get your hands on organic lemons, go for it. And always organic teas. And in previous lessons, there's a coffee, tea, and water consumption lesson. If you want to visit that, I go over all the different teas that I enjoy and great ways to save on organic teas. So ease the coffee withdrawal with black tea if you need to. It will only last a couple days. It's not a 30-day process to get off of coffee unless you're torturing yourself and you're still having a cup. Maybe you were like me and you had 4 cups and you decided, I'm going to cut down to 2 this week, and next week I'm going to cut down to 1. Just do it. Just go for it. 100% you're going to see the benefits that much faster. And that's what I feel about doing this 30-day whole food detox, is you are adopting a protective diet full-time, just like Patty in the testimonial that I read. If you tuned into class late, go back and hear her testimonial or read it on the testimonial page. Patty updated us to share with us that, she attempted a protective diet part-time and lost less than half the amount to her goal in the time she spent part-time struggling with the constant daily detox, including off-plan foods. And when she went full time, she felt incredible and her results shined. So just go for it. You deserve full-time results. Why not? Let's do it. If we're going to do this and go through these changes, why still have a daily withdrawal? Because that's what you're experiencing. Any of these foods that you're keeping in your diet, cheese, just reducing it down where you only have cheese once a day or cheese once a week, you're still going through that withdrawal process and that detoxification every time you eat that off-plan food. So once we cut it out, I say 30 days because that's your learning curve. You're going to go through all these different things and learn how to adopt this lifestyle full-time during that 30 days. And we might have a food additive or something slip in that we didn't realize were off plan. And during that 30 days, we have that learning curve time. But at the end of the 30 days, you're going to see results. You're going to feel fantastic, and you're going to be over the hump of that detoxification. After 2 weeks, science has confirmed what I've been teaching from my own personal practical studies working with students one-on-one, that our taste bud receptors stop searching for fats. And I've shared different videos covering these studies that Dr. Greger has covered. And your taste bud receptors after 2 weeks stop looking for that fatty texture that we've grown accustomed to in our foods if we're eating a standard diet or a vegan diet with oils and fats and nuts in it. And this is when the magic happens. Once we get over that hump of our taste buds looking for the sugar, looking for the food additives, and looking for the fats, food begins to taste incredible. Whole, clean, plant-based foods explode in our mouth. They taste richer. Jerry and I can sense the fats in plain brown rice. Now, we've been practicing a long time, But this started happening shortly into it for Jerry. So keep going, but it evolves and it keeps happening. My taste buds are getting more and more sensitive as time goes on. Also to sweetness. At the end of your 30 days, fruit, frozen cherries, pick up a bag of dark frozen cherries and keep them in your freezer. And when you need that little sweet treat, maybe you were a sugar seeker and you liked Skittles or Twizzlers or candies like that. Jerry was a big fan of those.
Oh, yeah.
And cherries, dark sweet cherries did it for him. After his 30-day detox, which Jerry really struggled through the first week, he was in bed sick. He got very sick. This can happen to some people because your body is flushing, it's working hard, and it can knock you out. He was in bed for, I want to say, like three days with headaches.
Totally. It was bad.
Chronic headaches. But afterward, it was like a new man came about, and I didn't really associate it because he didn't make a clear, I'm gonna do this or I'm not gonna do this. He moved into my home with me and was on plan because that's the food that I made. So he went through a detox without us really discussing it and got very sick in the beginning and had headaches. And we related it to it after the fact. I'm like, oh, you just went through your detox.
Right. It sort of happened, which was weird because I never got sick. Like I'm saying, maybe once a year, but then I meet Julie and I go hang out at her house and then I'm bedridden for 3 days. It wasn't very comfortable, but then after that, of course, it went away.
He got over the hump. So he was through it and stuck to it. So you can all do this. I'm not saying all of you are going to be as sick as a dog. Don't expect the best, but understand if you're feeling kind of fatigued and a little lousy and maybe have a little headache, do what you can to schedule this detox during a time when you can take a little time out for yourself. And if you can't, power through it and realize I'm tough. I can handle this. I've gone through all I've gone through with my health so far. So I'm going to get through this and my health is going to improve greatly. So you just stick to it. In your last week, you may have a feeling come over you that you need to drink or eat something totally off plan, like it strikes you out of nowhere. And it's one of your previous favorites. And you are totally through the physical addiction and withdrawal from that food. Yet you can't get it off your mind. It could be triggered from many different things and take you by surprise. It's a psychological addiction that you're experiencing. It's the memory of that food relating to a celebration. Maybe it's your birthday and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to have that special lemon cake that I grew up eating every year on my birthday. And I'm not going to be able to make it through this. I can't do it. I have to have some. That is not physical addiction. That is a psychological addiction or a habit that you have that or you reward yourself through that. Maybe you experienced a major traumatic loss. Someone close to you passed away, or your pet, or you lost your job, or something devastating happened. What do most people do? What did I do for years? You've heard about it in previous lessons if you watched them. I would soothe myself with food. The majority of people do this. When your child is sick, what do? You feed them. When anyone close to you is not feeling well, what do you bring them? You bring them treats. So this is learned. It's a learned behavior. So I'm trying to have you learn to pamper yourself and treat yourself as best as possible when you're down. When you're feeling like you just, got knocked down because you had this traumatic loss. Don't knock yourself down even farther. Don't sabotage what you've set out to achieve. So don't respond to the psychological addiction, the memory of that food soothing you, or the memory of that food being a celebration. Look at that food and dissect that food. Now, we are learning things about our system throughout all the lessons on a protective diet. I'm going to mention some of those lessons as I go forward. I really want you to have that scientific understanding of what's going on inside your body and your endothelium. And if you have that, you're going to walk right past that lemon cake if that was what you had on your birthday. That was my thing. I loved lemon cake growing up. And I would never, ever, ever sacrifice what I've achieved with my health or when I set out to achieve this with my health. I wasn't born this way. Hopefully all of you have read my journey. It's on the website. It's underneath frequently asked questions. Look at my before and after pictures. I was one sick girl in my 20s, and now I'm in my 40s, and I'm celebrating my birthday this week, and I've never felt better. But when I first started out, I had to get that mindset of there is nothing more important than me eating a diet to promote my endothelium, to promote optimal health. So get to know what that means so that you can stick to that. It's very easy for Jerry and I. We never go off plan, never ever. We never sacrifice our endothelial cells. They are protection. They are the protection on a protective diet. We promote them to promote protection. So don't allow sadness, work stress, home stress, or life sabotage your goals ever. Make this the top priority, the most important thing in life, because without our health, we have absolutely nothing. Without high energy, we can't go and achieve the things we want to do. We can't interact with our kids and our family and our friends and be the best employee or the best employer and run the best business or enjoy our retirement and have a higher quality of life. That's what we all want, is high quality of life and independence, and a protective diet gives us all of that. At an affordable price. So you're shopping and you're organizing and you're stocking your pantry during that first 30 days. It might seem kind of overwhelming. You're investing in a few items that are a little more expensive. Maybe a bottle of tamari cost you $7 and you're like, oh my gosh. Well, you're not buying steak, you're not buying cheese, you're not buying nuts, you're not buying oils, you're not buying sugary snacks and packaged processed foods. Your grocery bills are absolutely going to cut in half. You might have to invest in those few key things in the beginning, but the next month, the second month that rolls around, you're going to have saved hundreds of dollars. And I advise people, if you have that savings, then to invest in some newer kitchen equipment that's going to help you along the way, like a high-speed blender. I recommend the BlendTech. If you have a Vitamix, that's awesome. They're both right lined up with each other. My preference is the BlendTech just because of it cleans out easier and there's no knobs, there's buttons. It's my preference, but they're both awesome pieces of equipment. An electric pressure cooker. These are the things that I'd like you to reinvest your savings into making this lifestyle even easier, but they're not necessary. You can still get through without them. But you're gonna be saving a lot of money, and maybe you're gonna save it up for when BCS hits. Baggy clothes syndrome. Your third month, you're gonna need a new wardrobe if you've been carrying around excess body weight. It's a natural side effect of a protective diet to lose weight if you are overweight or obese. So expect it. Your third month, you're gonna have to go shopping. So keep your goals close and share them. Have the understanding of the foundation of this program, the nutritional science behind it, and share your goals with us in Protective Diet Living, the support group called PDL. We call it that a lot in this chat. And share your goals with someone that loves you so that they can support you if you're not comfortable in our support group. But chances are our support group's going to give you everything you need to get started. Then you have a support system to turn to if weird feelings should arise and you're going through physical detox or you're going through that psychological withdrawal and cravings. Come talk to us. We're going to walk you off that ledge. We want you to succeed. And the people in the group want you to succeed because they feel amazing and they want to build a healthy community around them and to help others. We're a pay it forward kind of community. Jerry and I have worked really hard because our lives have changed, and to get this word out and to develop this group coaching program, it was kind of an odd thing to do, but it's been very well received, and we're getting the word out about nutritional intervention and how inexpensive it is to do and how easy it is to do and how fun and enjoyable and delicious it can be with a protective diet. So during your first 30 days on a protective diet, you're learning what a whole food detox is in lesson number 1. If you haven't watched lesson number 1, put it on your calendar to do that. Lesson number 3, we taught you all about protein. So if you're confused how you're getting protein, Protein, carbohydrates, and fats are in perfect balance in every single whole food. We don't have to count points. We don't have to count calories. We eat until we're full and satisfied. And in your first 30 days, go for it. Eat whatever you want. Satisfy those cravings. You're still going to produce results. Then you have watched, if you've watched lesson number 7, you learned all about the endothelium. Number 7, everyone watch number 7. This is going to reinforce why you would never eat that piece of cake in the office, why no one could ever influence you to eat off plan ever again. Not if you care and respect your endothelium, which Jerry and I put that above pretty much everything.
Everything.
It is our protective cellular layer wall. It's a single cell layer deep wall. So if we eat off plan foods, oils and nuts and avocados, high fat foods and animal products, sugar, acidic foods, soda pop, coffee, dried fruit, all of these things, honey, syrup, it's going to break down that single cell layer protective wall. 90% of heart attacks happen because of a breakdown of the endothelium. Go ahead.
If it helps your endothelium, go for it. If it hurts your endothelium, it's poison. Don't ever do it. By the way, everything that's on protected PD, every PD food, helps your endothelium. So if every food that isn't PD, it hurts your endothelium. So
review the recipes. You don't have to go out and buy everything on the Amazon ingredient list. Don't do it that way.
Right.
Pick out a few recipes, get the ingredients for those recipes, and start watching the lessons. And all of a sudden, you're going to have this nice stocked pantry because you'll see certain ingredients that we use all the time, or you made a recipe that tasted fantastic. And what are you going to do? You're going to buy 4 or 5 of those types of pastas that you found on sale at that store. Or a case. When you get deeper into this, we buy things by the case because I don't want to buy my staples on a weekly basis. I want to go to the grocery store with my 2 little totes and fill them up with produce and fresh items. Meanwhile, my pantry stocked items are there ready and waiting for me, and I purchased them when they were on sale to save money because I'm doing more activities in my life. I'm buying new clothes because they fit me in the store. All of these other things I'd rather be spending money on than overspending on convenience health foods or whole plant-based foods. So I teach you how to do that in the lessons. There's a PAR lesson, it's an inventory lesson, but you don't need to watch that in your first 30 days. Those are elective lessons that you're gonna go back and look and go, oh, I wanna do that. Or you'll hear about them in the chats or in the group PDL. Protective Diet Living, and then you'll be able to catch up on those. Are you storing herbs using my storing herbs technique? There's 3 videos located at the bottom of the website. One of them is the storing herbs technique. Watch that video. It's going to save you a lot of money in herbs. Your herbs are going to last 2 to 3 weeks as long as you change out that towel and follow the process. It's very simple, but it's a great way to store your herbs and always have these fresh leafy greens to add to your dishes to make them very gourmet and more exciting and more impactful on promoting your endothelium. So this month is time to set yourself up for a lifestyle change and make meal planning easy. Cleaning out your pantry with lesson number 32, 33, and 34. There's a previous pantry cleaning lesson and it's all jam-packed into 1 hour, and some of you may have watched that one already. Go to lesson 32, 33, and 34 for slower paced pantry stocking lessons that I redid to make it a little easier for you to absorb. And that will give you an idea of what we're looking for in the grocery store and make things more familiar to you on a protective diet. And those pantry staples will make it possible for you to make the new recipe of the week. Every recipe that I create is created using those pantry staples so that you're not out running and buying a new thing every week. Once in a while, we introduce a new spice or seasoning based on an ethnic recipe that requires it. But once we introduce it, you better believe I'm in my test kitchen creating a new recipe that you can add that ingredient to coming up in the future. Because I don't want you having ingredients in your pantry taking up room for one recipe that you make on occasion. I want you to use these things up and get your money's worth. So at the end of the month, you have found your favorite quick and easy to go breakfast and your Sunday brunch favorite. Maybe you expanded a little from your oats and fruit or from your bagel, your protective diet bagel that's coming up next week. and you're ready to make the hash browns. So you got into a new recipe and you're getting into the cooking techniques. You've mastered the dry browning technique, which is a video located at the bottom of every page next to the storing herbs video. Master that technique if you want to be the best plant-based chef, home chef, because or restaurant chef, if you're in the restaurant industry and you're mastering this dry browning technique, you're going to infuse so much more flavor into your dishes than you ever imagined. More flavor possibly than when you were cooking with oil because you weren't getting that caramelizing effect. These are techniques that I came up to make this super enjoyable, delicious, and easier for you to sustain. Your meal planning on the spot with using the search box to enter fresh items, and your pantry houses all you need to make the recipes. So use that little search box. Watch last week's lesson that we covered, what was it, number 107? We covered how to use the website, protectivediet.com, and how to use it to your best advantage. So use that search box. I will buy produce on sale at the grocery store and come home and put red bell peppers or maybe spinach into the search box, and it'll give me all the recipes using that ingredient. Or potatoes, start with a starch and see what comes up and see what fresh ingredients you have to incorporate with it. I usually go for the freshest ingredient that I have the most of, put that in the search box, and that will be the star of the recipe that comes up. Class number 8 has taught you the facts about lowering cholesterols and what statins do and how they operate in the body. So if you're struggling with elevated cholesterol and you're starting a protective diet, I want you to understand what's happening in your body, because then there is no doubt you're going to stick to a protective diet full time, because in just 30 days, you're going to dramatically have dropped your cholesterol. But if you are messing around and you're still slipping a piece of fish into there, or drinking the coffee, or you're still having a little cream in your tea, or whatever it is that you're doing this off plan, you are going to sabotage these results. I want you to get the most impact in the next 30 days so that you will never turn your back to a protective diet. You will see this as successful and want to achieve optimal health and go full-time all the way through to your goal.
They want you to explain spices in a protective diet. Spices, how
that's a food additive. So,
but when spices like. The question is,
on
are
an ingredient label?
Okay? Spices, we're saying like oregano, that's a spice.
Spices,
okay.
Single ingredient spices are fine. So on a label, you're reading a label that has, say, a bunch of ingredients on it. And let's say it's a pasta sauce. That's a good one. It'll say tomatoes, it'll say oregano, garlic, and salt probably, maybe sugar. Put that one down if it says sugar. Look for one without sugar. And then it'll say the word spices. That is not a food ingredient. There is no such thing as spices. Can you buy an ingredient off the shelf in your spice aisle that is called spices? No, you can't. That's a food additive ingredient. The same thing with natural flavor. When you watch that additives lesson that I mentioned, it's a label reading class, number 82, we go over this in great detail to make you very independent and secure in choosing the cleanest foods. And we review over this word spices and natural flavor and citric acid and what it does in the body, and also how to identify it in a label. If it says organic spices, and that's a listing of an ingredient, that is a food additive. They're getting really creative with these names to confuse us. But we're smart, we're educated, I've investigated. I got these food additives out of my diet because they caused terrible cravings. I would eat these beautiful whole food plant-based meals, oil-free, nut-free, and I would still be back in the kitchen looking around for something when I was totally full and satisfied. And I couldn't achieve my goals because I was still binging and overeating on food, and these food additives were causing it. Also, what are these food additives and chemicals doing inside my body? They have no business in my whole plant-based foods, my condiments, my beverages, my sparkling water. no business in my food or my diet. I'm eating a diet for optimal health, so I want them out. So hopefully that clarifies. If it's just the word spices or organic spices, it is not a spice. It would be listed as an individual spice such as oregano, garlic, sea salt or salt, sugar. You know what those ingredients are. You know you could pick those ingredients up off of shelf and buy them singly. Spices is not something you've ever bought off the shelf that's labeled spices.
Citric acid is another one that's kind of confusing. If you see citric acid on a label, it's a no-go. However, if you see naturally derived citric acid, that's okay. And you're going to find that in organic products that don't have spices or any other food ingredient.
Right. Look for naturally derived citric acid is okay. If you've been practicing this a while and you haven't included that in your diet, you're definitely going to taste it. I taste it in tomatoes when they have the naturally derived citric acid in them.
What about Italian seasoning? That's a no-go.
Italian seasoning is fine. Break down the ingredients. As long as it doesn't contain the word spices or natural flavor. Some Italian seasonings they're clean. Some companies, they don't put those food additives in there that make it taste incredible. So you'd see things like oregano, rosemary, garlic, maybe salt, maybe not salt, maybe it's a salt-free seasoning. But a lot of those salt-free seasonings like Mrs. Dash, put them down and walk away. Those have food additives in them to make them burst and explode in your mouth with flavor. We don't want to eat foods that are doing that kind of unnatural process that they're paying those chemists billions of dollars to produce to put in your food so you overeat and overconsume their product. No thanks. So watch that lesson on reading food labels, number 82, and that's going to really clarify everything for you. Class number 8 taught you about the cholesterol. Watch that if you're not clear about cholesterol. If your loved one has elevated cholesterol, watch lesson number 8 so you understand what's going on in their body. Invite them into the room to watch the lesson with you. This is very important. This is a life or death matter. Class number 16 helped you to understand why we eliminate acidic foods out of the diet and what are acidic foods. What the heck are acidic foods? Animal products are all acidic, oils are acidic, nuts can be acidic. All of these foods in the diet, sugar, caffeine, coffee, all of these foods, we get them out of the diet to reduce inflammation in the body. Inflammation promotes disease. We want them out. So watch class number 16. That'll help you. If you're arthritic, if you have heart disease, you want to watch lesson number 16. If you have MS, if you have fibromyalgia, number 16, watch that lesson. There's a study featured in that lesson that covers an MS study that went over a 50-year period that shows how to stop the progression of MS just by removing the saturated fat out of the diet. The acidic saturated fat. So check that lesson out. It's very important.
There's a question there about tofu, right? It's in green. Can you see it?
The thing that confuses me is tofu. This is from Sharon. There is one kind that I get that I know is okay, but I'm in a different store and I can't remember the ingredient. If it's okay, what's not okay. There's some preservatives in tofu. It's in the water. So that's fine. When you see things like added like cornstarch and a bunch of different ingredients that you've never seen before, that's when you want to just put it down and walk away. I tend to use the Nasoya tofu or House Foods tofu. I always go for extra firm tofu. That's in the label reading class. We go over the ingredients on tofu. So hopefully that'll help you. You never use the preserving liquid in tofu. We always pour that out. That's preserving liquid. It's never included in any recipes. And if you're new to protective diet recipes and new to working with tofu, the recipe will always state whether it's fresh tofu, frozen and defrosted tofu, whether you press it or you don't. But we never use that preserving liquid. All the recipes on protectivediet.com do not leave you hanging and guessing. I will include every single step. There was a question earlier today in the chat about the one of the salad dressings. She said, I think that I was supposed to soak the chia seeds, or I was supposed to add water to them. If you were supposed to do either of those two things, I would never leave you guessing. I have 7-year-old chefs that are following a protective diet and helping their parents in the kitchen. So I would never leave a step out, leaving you be the chef and have to decide what to do next. All the steps are included. And always read the notes on every single recipe. Before you start the recipe, read the entire directions and notes. If there's a video, always watch the video. Videos are included to help you with techniques that I cannot describe as clearly as I can act them out in a video. So if you have digestive issues and you're struggling with the high fiber diet, watch lesson number 31. The average male on a standard American diet eliminates his dinner 5 days later. The average woman on a standard American diet eliminates her meal 4 days later. So the dinner that she ate tonight wouldn't be eliminated for 4 days. That's because the standard American diet is so low in fiber. This is the same on a standard vegan diet that doesn't include a lot of produce, that includes a lot of breads and processed foods. So we're changing things completely. We're taking our system and we're saying, you're eating a high fiber diet now, and that food is going to be eliminated in a 24-hour period that you ate at dinner. So you're going to experience some gassiness, some bloating, some indigestion, like, oh my gosh, I feel bloated. This is a natural side effect of increasing the fiber in the diet. It should calm down and subside after you get through that first 30 days. Then you're gonna go into the 50-50 plate challenge, where you're increasing the green leafy vegetables and the non-starchy vegetables on your plate. And you might experience more gassiness and bloating again. But keep in mind, this balances out and gets better. The sizes of raw vegetables, the salads that Jerry and I eat today, we couldn't have started out on day one eating that way. It would have left us feeling very bloated, very gassy. Now, if you have been practicing a protective diet a while and you're still experiencing gas and bloating, I want to recommend a few different things that I review in lesson number 31. If this is a serious issue for you, go back and review it. Eat smaller portions. If Jerry and I overeat any foods, we get gassy. It's natural. It's a natural side effect of a large meal. If you think back to Thanksgiving, when you ate a standard American diet, maybe you didn't experience gas on a regular basis, but on Thanksgiving or on a holiday or a big night out eating dinner, you were gassy. Think back to it. It's because you overconsumed food. Your body can't handle it, so what does it do? It's trying to push everything out this way or that way. So this is a side effect of overeating. Also, are you eating lots of vegetables like cauliflower and kale? These are gassy vegetables. Broccoli, cabbage. Are you steaming half a head of cabbage and eating it, and you never ate cabbage before you started this plan? Of course you're going to have some gas. So introduce them gradually, or just deal with it and get over the hump. Remove sparkling water out of your diet. This can cause gassiness, burping, some indigestion for some people, or the other way around. Straws cause you to gulp air and can cause gas. Chew slowly with your mouth closed. I know all these things sound so simple, but if we're not paying attention and mindfully eating, we might be doing these things and gulping down air, causing more gassiness. Overconsumption of tofu. This will cause you to be gassy. Guess what tofu is? Beans. It's made of soybeans. People are like, oh, I can't eat tofu. And then I find out they ate half a brick of tofu in a half of a batch of French onion dip with broccoli. And they're complaining that tofu gives them great gas. French onion dip is a condiment. Stick with at most a quarter of the batch on your baked potato and stuff. And if that's still causing gas, reduce it down to a smaller portion and have it again at your next meal. If you love it so much, I'm glad you do. A lot of us tend to overconsume these tofu dips because they taste so fantastic. But if you're having gas and bloat, that kind of thing, the sour cream dream, all of these things can be causing more of an effect of it if you're over consuming it. It's the same thing with beans. Cut down on the amounts, introduce them slowly. Yes.
In our last minute of class, do you want to cover the ideas of what we should have for Thanksgiving? Or should we do something else for that?
We did that already.
Okay, there was some question.
There was a question about Thanksgiving. Go back and watch the lesson on Thanksgiving that we just did 2 weeks ago. We
call.
went through all of the recipes and showed pictures of them and everything, and helped you through the challenges of having a Thanksgiving dinner. So you have taken before photos and learned about keeping a calendar of achievements in lesson number 83. Watch that lesson. I posted it in the support group today. Read the newsletter that goes along with lesson number 83. It's about a calendar of achievements. That's what it's titled. It was from back in June. It's a great lesson. It's going to help you get through this 30-day detox by starring each day or checking it off with an X. You're having fun utilizing the resources on the website after watching lesson number 104, the user guide. So that's going to help you get through all the material on the site and enjoy it. Don't fast forward through it. Don't feel panicked that you have to watch all these lessons overnight and learn this overnight. You didn't get where you are overnight, and you're going to get going where you need to be in the next 30 days, because these classes are really going to assist you and become part of your routine. You can listen to them when you're in the shower, turn up your phone really loud, listen to them when you're cooking, listen to them, turn off the TV. Just do it for the next 30 days. Focus on your health and achieving optimal health. Set yourself up Sunday. SUS is part of your easy meal planning routine from class number 98. That's when you want to speed things up in the kitchen. Maybe in your second month you want to add this practice in. Or if you're like, I just can't get this together, how do I do this meal planning thing for the week? Watch lesson number 98. It's going to help simplify things for you and really see how Jerry and I practice this diet and lifestyle and the majority of the people in our community. You'll see them on Sunday posting things in Protective Diet Living about SUS, Set Up Sunday. Look at the first month as a time of learning, growing, and reinforcing the reasons for your practice. This is very important. Always view your practice as a privilege, not a sacrifice. There's a lesson on this, number 80, and we talk about how this is a privilege. This is knowledgeable material, or this material gives you a knowledgeable privilege. Most people don't realize what the power of plants have on the body and the human system. We know this. The only thing stopping us from achieving this is ourself, causing sabotage, causing us to, I'll start on Monday. Start today. This is the greatest gift that you can give yourself. And you have all of the information. You're in this classroom. It's at your fingertips. Learn it and apply it.
In the chat room, Chuck just wrote in, he said, I am ecstatic, 4 exclamation marks. This is the best decision and the biggest I've ever made as far as changing my health goes.
Well,
way to go.
Awesome. Chuck, you brought new life into our support group. We love having you in the classroom. We love having you in the support group. Ask questions. If you're new to a protective diet, ask away in that support group. Ask in our classroom. Interact. If you're not there, you're going to slip through the cracks. I'm not going to even know you exist. Chuck is totally under my radar. Jeff's a new person in our classroom tonight. He's under my radar. I hope to hear from you in Protective Diet Living, Jeff, and hear more about what your goals are, what your diet history was, so that I can really assist you personally. This is a group coaching program, but I know who you are when you communicate with me in the groups, the chats, in the classroom. So you're building a foundation to your lifelong practice for consistent optimal health. This isn't a temporary practice. This is a full-time practice to achieve optimal health. Long-term sustainability. We're talking about lifestyle, not mommy's or daddy's diet. This is to greatly improve your quality of life. That's what it comes down to. That's what I want for all of you. I did this for myself. I've walked many people on this path to optimal health. And whoever's in my classroom, whoever's under my radar, I want to make sure you get there, because you're here tonight, you want this. I know you want this if you're in this classroom, so let's get it for you. Reach out, ask your questions, and if there's no more questions, I'll let you guys all go. And if you're all revved up, go into those archives and watch another lesson tonight.
Well, real quick, what do you say about soy milk? It's just too much of a hassle to make yourself?
Yeah, I think Jane,
worth
one
the
of our
investment.
students, was just practicing with making her own soy milk. It is so inexpensive, and you can find beautiful clean soy milk made by either Trader Joe's, their unsweetened plain soy milk, or West soy milk, their unsweetened plain soy milk. It's inexpensive, and the packaging is minimal, and the amount of work that it goes through to make your own soy milk, you could have made your family a homemade lasagna. Or 2 or 3. It's a lot of work. If you want to try it, if you're into projects, go for it. I would never ever tell someone not to go for it, but it does have a green bean taste when you make it yourself at home. They must cook it a lot longer in the packaged forms of organic, whole, unsweetened plain soy milk. So
Before we sign off, I want to. Second, I keep doing. Okay. Before we sign off, I want to say hi to Allison too. This is her first night in class, and welcome to everyone.
hi, Allison.
who's,
Welcome. I must have missed you in the chat.
That's right.
Yeah, we had a few new people, some that are still getting a new sign-on name. Work on that so that you use your actual names in the sign-on in the chats and in the classes so that we really get to know you. This is a community. We treat each other like family in Protective Diet Living in our classroom and in our chats. And so I want you to use your real name so that we get to know you and hopefully one day meet you in person.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, take care. Best of health to everyone. Have a
Thanks,
great
everyone.
night. Thank you.